Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, and this is another Bussin' Certified Hood Classic. Today we're going to be talking about the Complex Sneakers podcast and the debut of their new co-host, Upscale Vandal. The reaction out there has been striking. It's quite a rare thing to behold these days, a comment section that is pretty much all in agreement. And it's a little bit of a shame, to be fair, that the subject on which all of these comments are agreeable to is the fact that bro had an absolute shocker on debut. Brendan Dunn, fan favorite of the Complex Sneaker Podcast lineup, announced he was leaving to go to StockX like around 3 months ago. And that gap that he left on the stage of that podcast has recently been filled by a guy called Mike Camargo, also known as Upscale Vandal. He's the co-creator of Onwa and Rock Nation, brand consultant, he's a sneakerhead, he's a self-proclaimed GR king, and judging from the episode, he's got a lot of connections in the sneaker culture. Now, I'm not trying to hate on bro for 1 second. I've got to admit, I haven't really been tapped in hard to the Complex podcast over the years. Sometimes watch bits and pieces of it, but I'm not like a dedicated listener. So I wasn't really hip to any background knowledge of Vandal from previous Complex episodes. I know he's been a guest on. So yeah, I don't know the bro very well like that. I'm just learning about him now, so I'm definitely not trying to hate. Let's refamiliarize ourselves with the announcement of Upscale Vandal to the Complex podcast.
We saw all the comments. We heard your feedback. Some people thought the podcast was over, but it's not. We're here to announce that we're coming back, and we have a new co-host to my left, Mr. Upscale Vandal.
All I have to say is I see the comments. I've watched the show, but I have the collection. I know the history. What can you say now?
That's funny.
All I have to say is I see the comments.
We saw all the comments.
All I have to say is I see the comments.
We saw all the comments.
All I have to say is I see the comments.
Wonder if you've been seeing these most recent comments. Bro's already coming in with some pizzazz, man. Like, here I am. Boom. Got the knowledge. Got the collection. What was that last line?
What can you say now?
What can you say now? I don't know. And then we've got the introduction on this most recent podcast.
We're back, and to my left, new addition. Looks a little different than our friend Brendan Dunn, but we have Mr. Upscale Vandal here. Welcome.
Man, I know, they say it's big shoes to fill, although I'm a size 12. I don't know what size Brendan was, but
I think he's actually like a 9.5.
I thought 7.5.
Okay, so right off the bat, you're introduced. Brendan Dunn, big shoes to fill. First thing he says, what size shoe does Brendan wear? Because I'm a size 12. So coming in straight away, I've got bigger feet, not taking the whole thing as a figure of speech.
It feels comfortable already. I want to start getting my aesthetics right.
Yep.
The wall behind me and such.
He's settling in, gonna get himself comfortable. He's here to stay type of language. So, bro's coming straight away, acknowledged, yep, Brendan Dunn, but he's not trying to act intimidated by that, not trying to feel overwhelmed by that, wants to back himself and show that he's confident in what he has to bring. So fair enough in terms of making the confidence known early. I don't know, I saw 1 or 2 comments saying maybe they could have done a bit more to talk about Brendan a little bit, but at the same time, you can see Vandal coming in the intro here with that alpha male energy. Most of the comments are saying the same thing. Bro talks too much. Bro's not letting anybody else speak. These are the comments that have some of the most likes. Some of the newer comments, given that this is a few days old now, this podcast, so some people are coming to it fresh, some people are coming back to it, some people are watching it having maybe agreed with a short post that Complex have put out featuring the bros. So it's way more balanced the more recently you look into the past on this. People were citing things like cutting Welty off or Joe LaPuma off. A lot of people felt like he was maybe like name dropping a little bit. He was been a bit of a Ben Baller. You guys know Ben Baller? Ben Baller loves himself some Ben Baller. And it kind of felt like at some points Vandal had the main character syndrome going on. Sometimes it just comes across like he's doing a bit too much and he's maybe trying a bit too hard. A couple other things that came out in the pod. Apparently he was late to the recording, which I don't think was a good reflection on his professionalism, because yeah, at the end of the day, we all know that you turn up early to your first day on the job. Not late. You know, you can turn up late on your last day, maybe, but certainly not the first day. So that wasn't a good look. There was a couple of things that he said that caught people a little bit off guard. On social media these days, people are only too quick to try to find contradictions or hypocrisies or double standards or inconsistencies in your behavior. So people were quite keen to point out a couple of sneaky hypocrisies, which I'll tell you about in a second. But I just want to go through this quote here. So he actually says in the video, and I couldn't find the exact timestamp, but he says,
"Anybody who knows me knows I could care less about shoes right now. Anybody who knows me knows I could care less about shoes right now."
Bro, you can't get clipped saying, "I could care less about shoes right now," on your debut on a podcast talking primarily, if not exclusively, about shoes. Bro. So let's talk about the shoes he was wearing. Bro, a pair of the DJ Clark Kent The Lists. This is a crazy shoe to wear on debut. And bro didn't have just one pair on feet, which would be crazy enough. Bro had another pair that actually belonged to and was recently worn by the late great DJ Clark Kent. So what an unbelievable flex on debut. And this would have been a great way to introduce yourself to the sneaker community that maybe aren't yet familiar with you, if it weren't for the fact that you're the self-proclaimed GR King. If you're coming onto the episode saying one of my names is the GR King, and the first shoe that you rock up wearing is one of the most exclusive shoes known to man, and you have two pairs, including one owned by and worn by the very dude that made the shoe, some people might think you're a bit of a dick. The reaction evidently has been pretty negative, but there are some supportive comments, and most people are saying the same type of thing, which is that it'll take some time, man, for everyone to settle into their rhythm, for them to catch their vibes and suss out their directions, and just, you know, get that chemistry settled in. That will take a little bit of time. It always does. And I think bro had all the right intentions coming in. I feel like bro wanted to make a really good impression. He wanted to come in confident, authoritative, knowledgeable, and plugged in. And that confidence just took the guise of cockiness every now and then to the point where I feel like some people switched off. I feel like it's just a matter of time before these guys settle into a little bit of a rhythm, catch a vibe off one another. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. And thanks so much for watching, and shout out to Complex, shout out to Vandal, to Joe, to Welty, to Brendan Dunn. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I will see you all on the next video. Take care and peace.